The Psalms chapter 147, I'm straight to the point. Matter of fact, verse 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel.
Right, so the Most High said, look, he showed his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. Okay? So that's who the Most High showed his word unto. You got these Christians going around talking about, the mixed multitude incident to the covenant. That's a clear contradiction to what the Most High said. Yeah, go ahead.
It was yesterday, Friday. I work in the Bronx. I'm going to the train station, 149th and 3rd Ave, and I'm seeing, I don't know if they Mormon churches or Mormon-like churches,
right.
Edomites out there, out of place. They're out of place. Like, I could see some of them like disenchanted, like, yo, you're not gonna get in the people's ear. They're not gonna join your church.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then whatever the Lord ain't dealing with you. Most High ain't dealing with you. You out of place. You like, matter of fact, one of them was on the area where we used to teach at, across the street and on the same area, like landmark. I'm like, yo, in the Bronx, 3rd Ave. Right in front of Cohen's Optical, and in the other spot, I'm looking like, yo, these guys, they gone. But the Lord ain't give the word to these heathens, man. His knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and his decrees. It went to the nation of Israel.
Right. The nation of Israel only went to
Verse 20. He have not dealt so with any nation, and as far as his judgments, they have not known them.
Yeah, that's right. So the other nations, they don't know the judgments of the Heavenly Father. The Most High is not dealing with them. Okay? He only gave his laws, statutes, commandments unto the nation of Israel. Right? That's why when the new covenant comes in the book of Hebrews and also Jeremiah, the Most High is going to put his laws into our inward parts. Okay? Not the whole world, not all the nations is going to put it into Israel to keep the laws perfect. Alright? And we're going to, in our kingdom, we're going to enforce the laws onto the nations. The nations are going to have to keep our ways. Okay? They're going to have to serve Yahweh Yahushua. Right? They're going to have to serve the Most High and keep the Most High's laws, statutes, commandments. And if they break them, the judgments is going to come upon them. Alright?
Yeah, this is Isaiah 48, and Isaiah 48, verse 10. It says, behold, I have refined thee, but not with silver. I have chosen thee in the furnace of affliction.
Right. And that's ultimately how the Most High chooses us. We'll start with his elect, ultimately all Israel. Okay, we had to go through that affliction, man. Refined. Okay? And we're going through that refined process now. So ultimately the Most High is going to shot. Okay? Because the blood of Yahushua dying for the nation of Israel, that's what made peace it's like how you said the word, propitiation.
Yeah.
Right? He appeased the Most High by dying. Okay? And that made peace between the Most High Israel, the whole nation Israel.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. It reads, verse 14. For he is our peace, who have made both one, and have broken down the middle wall of partition between us.
Right. So he made read verse 1 now.
Come on. This is Ephesians chapter 2. This is Ephesians chapter 2, verse 14. For he is our peace, who have made both one.
Yeah, so he was our peace that made both one. Okay? The house of Judah, the house of Israel.
Yeah.
Made them back into one nation.
Mm-hmm.
Because during the time of kings, through Rehoboam and Jeroboam, that's when the nation of Israel was split to two kingdoms. Okay? They were split into two kingdoms. You had the northern kingdom, which were the 10 tribes. You had the southern kingdom, which was Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. And we have not been together as one nation since, okay? Until Yahweh came and died on that cross. So the whole nation can be brought back as one.
Yep. It reads, and have broken down the middle wall of partition between us.
Right. And then back in the ancient world, you had an actual, back during the temple back then, you had like a partition wall, all right, that separated the Jews who were able to go into the inner courts, and you had the outer courts where the Gentiles were able to go into, but they could not enter into the inner courts, okay? So, go in and worship and stuff. Else they face harsh punishments, okay? Even unto death. So Yahushua, he spiritually broke down that partition wall for all Israel to serve the Most High. Okay?
That was it. I got another.
That's all.
No, go ahead.
This is Ezekiel 36:19. First point says, Ezekiel 36 and let's start 17. It says, Son of man, when the house of Israel dwelt in their own land, they defiled it by their own way and by their doings. Their way was before me as the uncleanness of a removed woman. Therefore I poured out my fury upon them for the blood that they had shed upon the land, and for their idols wherein they had polluted it.
Right. So Israel filled the land with idolatry now. Okay? And the shedding of innocent blood, murders, things of that nature. Sacrificing them to other gods, killing their children, burning, to idols. That's what Israel was doing.
These are the people of the Lord, and are gone forth out of his land. But I had pity for mine holy name, which the house of Israel have profaned among the heathen, wherein they went.
That's a good chapter 3, man. Okay, well, we got some time. You gotta go to the first verse. Alright, let's see what that says.
So this is Ezekiel 36, verse 1. It says, Also, thou son of man, prophesy thou unto the mountains of Israel, and say, Ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Most High. Thus saith the Lord power, because the enemy has said again against you, Aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possessions. Okay.
You can go back to where you was at. I'm gonna look at see what I was saying.
Okay, fine. Back in Ezekiel 36 and 11, it says, hold on. Ezekiel 36 and 19, it says, And I scattered them among the heathen, and they were dispersed throughout the countries, according to their way and according to their doings I judged them.
Yeah, so the Most High, yeah, you got it. You said that?
No, that's what we were scattered among the heathen, these other nations. That's why you got the Israelite foreigners, and our people's gonna look like the other nations also. All right, all right. That's why when you hear for Yahweh so loved the world, he's talking about that world out scattered.
Right.
All right. He wasn't talking about everyone, but that's the thing. When the Bible destruction group or whoever it was, the Apocrypha is between the Old Testament and the Old Testament and the New Testament. The Apocrypha is between it. The whole history, you're gonna miss out on the history with certain empires that was ruling, and how our people were scattered. You're gonna miss a lot of. There's gonna be a gap, and the heathens They did that they did that. It was strategic to remove that, and I think it was an Edomites in what in the Roman Catholic Church or the Edomites that was just around that when they took over, they was like, yo, we gotta remove the Apocrypha from out of here because it's hitting, it's putting everything, it's telling who we are and how everything is. So with our Apocrypha removed, a lot of people trapped up. Forgive me if I'm saying anything wrong. You know?
Yep, this is Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 1. It reads, again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, cause Jerusalem to know her abominations.
Yeah, cause Jerusalem to know her abominations, right? Yeah, because Israel, our people were all throughout the scriptures filled with the abominations of the heathens, right? The idolatry of the heathens. Okay.
It reads, and say, thus saith the Lord power unto Jerusalem, thy birth and thy Canaan. Nativity, Salakia. Let me read it again. This is Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 3. And say, thus saith the Lord power unto Jerusalem, thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and thy mother an Hittite.
Right. So Moses said, look, your one more time, your nativity.
Yep. This is Ezekiel chapter 16, verse 3. And say, thus saith the Lord power unto Jerusalem, thy birth and thy nativity is of the land of Canaan. Thy father was an Amorite, and the mother an Hittite.
Right, so thy nativity was in the land of Canaan, thy father was an Amorite, and mother was a Hittite. Meaning, look, the Most High saying, look, the nation of Israel, you're following after the ways of Canaan. Your mother and your father are these heathens. Okay, you're going against me, and you're serving the ways of the land of Canaan. And that's what Israel did by sacrificing unto their gods and their idols. Right, instead of worshiping the Most High. I think we got like 2 minutes left. Come. You can
Yep. It says, verse 4, and as for thy nativity, in the day thou was born, thy navel was not cut, neither was thou washed in water to supple thee. Thou was not salted at all, nor swaddled at all. None I pity thee to do any of these unto thee, to have compassion upon thee, but thou was cast out in the open field.
Right, so it's poetic. So the Most High is referring to Israel as like a baby left for dead. The navel still, the umbilical cord still attached, all laid out in his own blood. All right, and that's what referring to us in the captivity in Egypt. All right, when he was in that bondage. Let me see. Yeah, we could close it up here, man. That's a good chapter to read, man. Brothers should read that chapter. It's a good chapter. But we're gonna end it right here and close it up. Say, we're going to give all praises due to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushua, Ba'ashem, and Kakwadash.
All right, Shalom.
Shalom.